Barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. So, I was re-listening to my prediction video, and I realized I called that Thurman Garcia fight as good as anyone could have done it. And I watched, man, I probably spent maybe 10 hours, maybe 5 fights each, dissecting the fights, trying to find some stuff, and also using my previous knowledge too, because I've seen them fight so many times on TV and in person. Um, I'm gonna pat myself on the back because I don't because I realize when you have a small YouTube channel, uh, when you're reporting information, you don't get the credit. Like there's been so many fights I've reported on that has gone live. I predicted this fight perfectly. A lot of other YouTube channels picked Danny Garcia. I he just don't have that gear. And I told you guys about Keith Thurman's brain. You guys would not believe me. And let me tell you this about people say Danny Garcia ran, Floyd Mayweather ran. Let me tell you this. Has any of you guys ever gone on a first date and you know you got the date sealed, signed, sealed, and delivered within the first 30 minutes? Do you talk yourself out of pussy? Or do you still try to talk yourself in the pussy? That's the question I have for y'all, man. If I know I have something in the bag, I'm not going to try and re-win it. Remember, you can't kill a dead man twice. All right? And that's something boxing fans, novice fans, need to fully understand. You know, I was listening to the Boxing Voice podcast. They do a great job. They have so many different personalities on that show. You know, you can't help but be interested in how the dynamic of how they interact. And the guy from This Is 50, I forget his name, Awok, I think, with Barack. I think they have a good show. And he said he watched Danny Garcia 3 times, the fight 3 times, and he has Danny Garcia winning 7 rounds to 5. I don't understand. I don't understand how you have it a draw, how you have Danny Garcia winning. Danny Garcia, you know, the first round could have been a 10-8 round, and that's a stretch too. I'm not saying it is or it's not, but the first round could have been a 10-8 round. Danny did everything but hit the canvas. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't have scored it a 10-8 round, but a pretty liberal judge could have done that. You know, because if you're going to give Danny Garcia any of the first 4 rounds, you're definitely a liberal judge. So I had it 4-0, and I digressed in the 3-1 because I know no judge is gonna look at a scorecard and be like, I just gave Keith Thurman 4 rounds in a row. I got to give Danny Garcia one of these uh, close, quote unquote, close rounds. But yeah, man, I just want I it feels good when you get it right. I've been wrong a few times, guys. I'm not saying, but it just feels good when you get it right. You know, I listened to a lot of people's channel and I watched. I mean, I was all in on this fight just from a pure boxing fan's perspective. I'm grateful and thankful that I have a leg on each side of the fence as a fan and in the media, and I'm just ecstatic, man. I was ecstatic all last week, and the only thing I didn't do was go to the fight. And the reason why you guys know I didn't go because it would have been upside down. I wouldn't have made any money on this fight, and if you don't know by now, I'm very, very disciplined when it comes to money and my time. So, but I'm ecstatic, man. Boxing is in a good place. And I was thinking, if it wasn't for PBC, we would be sitting on our hands, anxious. And then we would have got David Lemieux, Curtis Stevens, and been disappointed. Not because those two aren't good fighters and will not make for a good fight, but because we don't want to see, when you're waiting for 2 months for a fight, you don't want to see David Lemieux and Curtis Stevens, right? That's just human nature. But I'm going to pat myself on the back. And as I tell you guys, when you unveiling a fight, you have to look at it from a pragmatic perspective. Just common sense. Not, well, I bet against. Everyone said this. Not everyone. A lot of people said this. well, I bet against Danny Garcia so many times. I can't bet against him this time. Well, he's not fighting Zab Judah, who has 1 foot out the ring and 1 foot in the ring. He's not fighting Amir Khan with a glass chin. You know, he's not fighting Lucas Matisse. Lucas Matisse was a good win. But I just want you guys to learn. I know we have a lot of novice fans, and YouTube is a great introductory, is a great meet not a great is a great medium for understanding boxing, because you get 20, 30 different perspectives if you subscribe to a lot of people's channels, and you should. You know, you shouldn't just listen to my voice. You should listen to everyone else involved, so you can find where you stand, who your favorite fighters are, why they're your favorite fighter. You know, but YouTube is a great medium because you can watch it and learn on your own. You don't have to call your boy and bother him, or call your girl and ask for boxing advice when you could just click play. But I called this fight perfectly. I told you guys Danny Garcia did not have that extra gear. And I told you Keith Thurman was more cerebral than Danny Garcia. And I said this, and I know people saw the video and be like, what do you mean? I told you Danny Garcia's jab will be non-existent. If your jab is non-existent, and you guys know this from sparring. If I'm talking to you guys from sparring, if you don't use your jab, it is so easy to see what's coming. I'm just being candidly honest, because even if a jab doesn't land, you have to defend against a jab. You have to defend against a jab, and if you're not defending against a jab, you're not going to throw an uppercut from. You can't lead with an. I mean, you're not supposed to lead with an uppercut. So there's only two other punches you can throw: a hook and a cross. If you're not throwing your jab, right? And because I mean, maybe Roy Jones. There's God only blessed a few people who can lead with an uppercut. All right, and that's just the way it is. So if you're not leading with the jab, there's only two other punches you can throw: hook, cross. You know, so people may call other punches different names, but those are the four main punches in boxing. And but I thought Keith Thurman fought an extraordinary fight. If I get the sense the girl is giving me the pussy, I'm not talking myself out the pussy. I'm not asking her about past relationships, how her mama's doing. Whatever energy we have established to get to the point of her wanting to give herself to me, that's where I'm staying. All right. And my female subscribers, put in the comment section if I have any. I know I have a handful of y'all. Talk about that experience about when you winning from a dating perspective, so these guys can understand. These guys want Keith Thurman to go knock the dude out when he's winning 8 rounds to 2, 7 rounds to 3. I'm not taking that chance. It's like going on the 4th date and not buying condoms before the 4th date or 5th date. You're just a dumbass nigga. I mean, I'm spitting game to y'all as well as talking boxing knowledge. If you get to the 4th date, you better have condoms in your wallet or in the side drawer by your bed. I'm just being 100 with it. Everything need to be laid out, because if you ain't getting none by the 4th date, she's fucking somebody else. Or 5th date. But the 4th date, because first base, second base, third base, fourth base, home base, excuse me. So I'm spitting game to y'all, all right? And that's just what I believe. And you always got to equate sports and women, because it piques a man's interest. All right. So that's why I always use analogies when in terms of dating and in terms of sports, because it gets men's attention. Pussy and sports and money will stop a man and pique his interest almost instantly. That's what studies say. So anyways, I'm patting myself on the back, and I'm helping you guys understand how to win in life, and how Keith Thurman, he took his foot off the pedal around 11 and 12. He might have won round 12. He might have won round 12. I haven't rewatched the fight. I'm gonna fall asleep watching the fight tonight. I'm gonna go live in a little while, but I just want to say thank you guys all last week. If you took my advice and you made some money, if you want to thank me, there's somebody probably on the corner of somewhere in America, buy him a bottle of water or something. You know what I mean? Buy, that little kid you see walk by every day and you say, man, I wish I could help that kid. You know, buy him a Snicker or something. You know what I mean? Let's be silent heroes and keep on pushing it forward. So, anyways, man, I thank you, thank you, thank you. And I am the boxing whisperer, as well as you guys know I'm the PBC whisperer. I had that fucking Berto Porta fight since about 13 days ago. I knew that fight was going, and I didn't report it because the PBC asked me not to say anything because they just want to make sure that they had all the media in place. But anyways, I think I've told you guys about the last four big fights. I told you Wilder was fighting Washington. I knew the day he was popped by Vada, whoever he was, Usada or Vada. The day he was popped, I got on the phone, made a call, and I suggested Washington. And I'm not saying they took my advice, and that's the second time. You guys go back to my videos. The day Povetkin pulled out, I said he should fight Chris Arreola. The same day I called PBC, and he ended up fighting Chris Arreola. And the same thing happened with the other Russian, and he ends up fighting Gerald Washington. All right. I told you guys Chavez Jr. 164.5 2 days before ESPN reported it. Brandon Rios, Victor Ortiz. What other fights I've told you guys about? I think I was pretty equal with Amir Khan and Manny Pacquiao because that happened so quick. And I think I got that right when everyone else got that. But, Floyd Mayweather would have fought Manny Pacquiao if it wasn't for Conor McGregor, guaranteed. There's a few others that I'm drawing a blank on, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So anyway, but above all of that, I thank you guys for the kind messages. You know what I mean? Through Instagram, through email. I appreciate. This was a fun fight to cover. It was instinctively a fun fight to cover. You know what I mean? And it was fun. So Barbershop Conversations. If you guys need any fight breakdowns, make sure, in addition to listening, I'm not saying I'm the only voice, but you should value what I say as it relates to boxing. So you guys don't say what I think about the next fight. I'll gladly tell you. So anyways, Barbershop Conversations. I thank you. So if you listen to other channels, make sure you come back and listen to me when I do a fight breakdown and I give you guys who the winner is because I nailed it. 8 rounds to 4. I told you guys. I don't care what the judges say. This fight was an 8-4 fight. All right, 116, 112 is the correct score of this fight. So Barbershop Conversations. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.